and the sidewalk just led straight in. And I walked into this building, and I sat down in the back, and I got mad. Because, I mean, you know, when you finally do something for God, isn't the sun supposed to shine? I mean, when you're finally obedient, you finally take the big step. I mean, the birds sing, and little baby angels fall around and sing songs to you. I mean, isn't that what's supposed to happen? People start giving you cars and houses and everything because you're obedient now. And I sat in this room, and I just started to kind of brew a little bit. And they started getting ready for chapel service, and people started filing in, and the room was full. I'd never seen that many people in a room before, maybe 500 or 600 people. And these students got up on the stage, and they stepped up to the microphone, and I recognized some of them because they were new like me. And when they started singing, they were awesome. And when that guy started playing the piano, he was unbelievable. And all I could do is sit in the back of that chapel and think, now see, God, that is the kind of person you need. You see how good they are? People would listen to them for hours. I didn't hear a word they sang. I didn't hear a word anyone preached. And when that service was over, they all started filing out, and I stayed in the back. And after a while, they turned the lights off, and it was about 10:30 in the morning, and these blue stained glass windows just kind of shined in. And I started walking up to the front, and I came up to the front of the building, and there was this piano. Another one of those sovereign God moments. This piano was so big, it was a beast. It was so big they couldn't put it on the stage. They sat it in the floor. Otherwise, I would have never walked up onto a stage. And I went to the piano and I sat down. And I started playing the only 4 chords I knew. I used to sit in my church after everybody would leave and play my chords, and they sounded so cool, you know. They didn't sound cool anymore. All I could think was, man, this doesn't sound anything like that other guy I was playing a while ago. He was awesome. And I sat there at that piano in that empty chapel, and I had my first fight with God. And I was like, God, what's the deal? I mean, you know how I get. You know I get fired up sometimes, and I always seem to catch myself before I do something really dumb. But I'm in Florida. I have left the state. I got married. I've drugged my wife down here. She's working her first day of work to pay for this. My church gives me this big send-off service, and they all come by to shake my hand because Mark is going to go do this great thing for God. My parents are probably still on the phone calling all the relatives to talk about how proud they are, and I am about to come home because I am not good enough for this. God started teaching me a lesson that day. A lesson that He's still teaching me. And I think it's the reason there even is a Casting Crowns. That morning, He started to say to me, Mark, I don't need you. I want you. Mark, I don't need you. I want you. Do you think that all of these fears and limitations and all these things that make you feel so small are worrying me? Do you think that all these little initials that you got from all these little tests when you were a kid are weighing me down? Mark, I am going to do something in the world. I just want to know if you want to come. Well, I went back to school the next day. And And I went back the next day and the next day. And 6 years later, I graduated, 4-year college. Algebra was my favorite class. I took it 3 times. Teacher and I are really close after a while, you know. She still calls. And now I'm a youth pastor for about 400 teenagers, and I have no idea what I'm doing. I sit in my office sometime and I'm thinking, well, this is it. We're going down today. There's some committee somewhere in the church right now, and they're having a meeting. And they're going to walk in my office and going to say, brother, and you know it's bad when they say brother. Brother, we've been talking, and we're really not sure what you're doing. We don't think you know either. And it's on those days that God has to remind me, and I have them a lot. Mark, if I'd have wanted somebody else, I'd have called somebody else. You get up there, dyslexic boy. You show the world what I'll do through somebody that'll let me. And I have spent 13 years, listen to me. I've spent 13 years saying things I'm not sharp enough to say. I write songs I'm not good enough to write. I'm a part of things constantly. They're so above me. I am swimming in the deep end. Because God doesn't need me. He wants me. This song started at that great big piano in that great big chapel with the only 4 chords that I knew.